So I found myself wading through the daily slop that YouTube had so kindly served me up on my homepage, and I came across this video. A trailer for a game called Ascendant. Let me show you some snippets.
Hell yeah!
Okay. Pause right there. Zoom. Enhance. There it is. Clear as day. The people have spoken. The gunplay looks beyond mediocre. These rocket pods don't even fire. And everything about this screams ChatGPT, please make me a generic 80s retro shooter that the kids will love. But then I discovered there was a 2-day open beta happening this very weekend for this game. So after successfully tricking my mate Max into playing it with me, I was more than ready to jump in, make merciless fun of this video game slop, slap the old "when ChatGPT makes a video game" title on this bad boy, and call it a day.
Hey there, fresh face. Welcome to the shade.
But the thing is, what actually happened is that after playing this game, I was left deeply conflicted. It feels both complicated and incredibly in-depth, and also incredibly basic. Causing me to reevaluate my views on life and put together a thought-provoking thesis on the state of modern gaming, with Ascendant as my case study.
Whoops. F***ing noobs.
Ascendant is a shining example of everything wrong with modern indie game development, and speaks to the very clear wider issues in the gaming world right now, and I'm going to show you why. But first, what the bloody hell even is Ascendant? Ascendant is a 3v3v3v3 extraction sort of shooter where you and your highly customized gang are deposited into a luscious wildlife inhabited world with lofty ambitions of extracting up to 3 biocores to later use in the hub world to get better gear. The game has a PvE farming mechanic where you hunt down innocent life forms like this juicy snail, glack it real good, then take the ammo, potential upgrades, and most importantly power, which is basically money, that this snail had in its slimy pockets. Because my life is more valuable than this snail and its family. You use power, remember that's basically money, to buy things like an advanced spawn point, as well as gear from the various shops on the map. Gear includes your own customized spec'd out gun that you've put together in the hub world. Remember, that's the gun you bought upgrades for in the hub world using the biocores you extracted from the battlefield. You see, it's all coming together. These are biocores. There are 3 to extract that become available at different times. The idea is to activate one, wait patiently for it to be grabbable, then run back and insert it into your all-terrain Range Rover's sex hole, and then wait patiently for the sperm to find the egg or something. You also each have 3 lives, so the idea is you farm, build your gear up, fight a bit, die, farm, get more gear, fight a bit, extract a core, fight a bit more, go home with some loot. And I'm going to be honest with you, this game is built on the back of really good ideas. Ideas that are surprisingly complex, ideas that add both depth and breadth to the game, and most importantly, funky and fresh ideas that are far from the generic slop I was expecting. Having multiple lives actually makes this feel less like Tarkov and more like a game you might actually play. Farming and unlock purchasing allows you to play the game how you want instead of relying on lucking out finding some random loot or just having to third-party geared players for wins. There are customizable perks, customizable guns, you can put a Union Jack on your back and a no regrets sticker on your ass, you can buy new spawn points mid-round to gain advantageous respawns depending on where the battles and biocores are. When holding a biocore, you get a special, again customizable power-up to help with the retrieval. There are even map-wide user-controlled events where you can launch a missile barrage on an area while defending a biocore. All of this is to show you that this game is full of good ideas, but the execution of these ideas is frankly embarrassing. Embarrassing to the level where you start to question whether this game was made by a person or ChatGPT. Execution that makes you wonder whether this is really just a Bitcoin miner in disguise. And so many indie games today suffer this exact same problem. The gunplay is so mediocre you could be playing a phone game. Combat and movement in general is floaty and weird, thoroughly unrewarding and just straight up boring. There's also a gun which is actually a fist that auto aims onto targets, bends around rocks, can kill enemies, heal friendlies and heal yourself. I don't know if there is a balance team, but if there is, there should be a new one. There are vehicles in this game that you can actually upgrade as a round progresses. What a cool idea. But the driving mechanics and vehicle physics are disgusting. Like legit, they're worse than Squad, and that's saying something. There's no atmosphere at all. There's like zero music or anything going on most of the time, and then suddenly a thoroughly copyrighted music track will just drop out of nowhere.
Probably chasing them, right?
Right, that's just straight up copyright music. Come on. It's all just weird as hell and again kind of embarrassing, especially as the developer of this game, Play Fusion, are apparently based in the UK, and they're also award winning, although they only have one game and it's still in beta and definitely has no awards. So I guess we can just make up whatever we want now. The art style and general execution of everything seems generic to the point of being some kind of sick parody of modern gaming. Like literally just taking the retro 80s style games have done to death now and pumping it into every corner of the design. Not done because the developer has any interest in this, but because they think this is what people like. But I'm not here to ruthlessly bash what is probably a one-man or at most very small team production. I'm looking at this game to highlight what is becoming a very clear issue in the indie game world, and frankly the gaming world in general. But to talk about the issues now, I need to talk about gaming of the past. Game development used to largely be hidden behind closed doors. To become a game dev, you actually had to study it or have a way into the industry and learn on the job next to the pros, because the tools required to make games were very inaccessible and largely unavailable to a wider audience. So when people say games of the past were just better, I think there's some truth to it, because the truth is that games of the past were made entirely by skilled, formally trained professionals, because that was literally the only way into game development. Fast forward to today, and even I, the idiot that I am, could load up Unreal Engine and start making a game. Dev tools have never been more readily available, and with no requirement in the modern era for games to be published on a disc or other hard copy, the means of distributing games has also become infinitely more accessible. And of course, marketing can now be done nearly for free through YouTube and other online platforms without the need for newspaper, TV, or other forms of paid advertisement. All this means that even a useless Joe Schmo such as myself could create, publish, distribute, and market a game with no qualifications, no checks, no balances, nothing. So lo and behold, the market is flooded with one piece of slop after another. The problem with indie games is that these games often come with great ideas, likely from people who have played a lot of games and know what a good game could be. But they absolutely do not have the resources required to make the ambitious thing they so desperately want to make. Meanwhile, massive publishers like EA or Sony certainly have the means to make a good game, but it seems they lack anyone who has any ideas at all. The fact that EA, a company estimated to be worth $40 billion, can't think of anything better to do than make FIFA again, is the painful reality of modern gaming. The ideas are in the hands of people who can't make them, while the people with the skills have no ideas. Or they have ideas but they're not allowed to make them. I can't really figure that last bit out. So here we are, in Ascendant, another incredibly ambitious indie title, made possible thanks to readily available engines and purchasable store assets. An indie game full of good ideas, but executed frustratingly poorly and generically. That will almost certainly and unfortunately be lost amongst the noise of an endless stream of further slop from a gaming industry that's become way too accessible.
I mean, I think they get the f***ing point, okay? They're gonna get f***ing murdered anyway.
How would you look at that? Just another award-winning rant from your boy Slorgs. And if you like this rant, you'll probably like some of my other award-winning rants, like this one from the game Squad, or this one from a game I don't even remember the name of. Man, I already thought that was going to be a fun, light-hearted video, and now I think I'm just going to go and cry.